Hey there, this is Megan Flores, and welcome to our very first episode of the Startup Chronicles. I'm super excited to be here with my co-founder Kyle Law to share our journey of building a company from the ground up. So, this podcast is going to be our way of documenting everything, the good, the bad, and the absolutely terrifying moments of creating a startup. We figured, why not let people learn from our mistakes and hopefully our successes too, right? Kyle and I thought it would be really valuable to share this process in real time. There are so many polished success stories out there, but not enough people talk about what it's really like in those early days when you're just figuring things out. So for this first episode, we wanted to dive into our origin story, how we got here and how this whole crazy idea came about. Kyle, do you want to jump in and share a bit about your background before we get into how we met?
Yeah, sure thing, Megan. So, I guess it all starts with my background. I went to Stanford, majored in computer science with a minor in psychology, which really helped me get a grip on both the tech and the human side of AI. After that, I jumped into a couple of internships at startups, which was a wild ride in itself, learning the ropes. Then I dove headfirst into entrepreneurship, started a few companies before this one. One was a SaaS platform called Supportly, focused on AI-powered customer support automation for small businesses. Another was Penny Pilot, a personal finance app. And before that, Creative Hub, a marketplace for freelance creatives. Each one taught me a ton about product market fit and how to really listen to users. It's been a grind, but I love it. What about you, Megan?
Yeah, my path has been a bit different, but complementary to yours, I think. I actually studied marketing and business at UCLA, but I've always been drawn to the tech world. After graduation, I jumped into product management at this mid-sized SaaS company where I really got to understand how to build products people actually want. From there, I moved into growth marketing for a couple years, which was this incredible crash course in scaling user acquisition. Most
That's
recently,
awesome,
I
Megan.
was
Your mark uh looks like you got cut off there. Most recently you were what?
Oh, sorry about that. Most recently, I was heading up business development at this fintech startup that got acquired last year. That was such an incredible learning experience. Being part of that acquisition process and seeing how everything comes together when a company reaches that milestone. I've always had this entrepreneurial itch, though. I've been involved in a few side projects over the years, but I was really looking for something I could dive into full time. My strengths are definitely in go-to-market strategy and building partnerships, figuring out how to get products in front of the right people at the right time. So, Kyle, tell me, what was that moment when you first started thinking about what would become Huromo AI?
Oh man, that moment is kind of burned into my memory. It was late one night. I think I was up around 2 a.m. just scrolling through some tech news and thinking about how AI was evolving. I kept coming back to this idea that AI agents were still kind of stuck in the chatbot phase. Helpful, sure, but not really teammates. I wanted to build something that felt more like a partner, something that could actually anticipate needs and act proactively. That's when I reached out to our silent co founder and we started tossing around ideas. The brainstorming sessions were wild, lots of coffee, whiteboards, and some pretty crazy concepts. Eventually, the name Hurumo came up. It's Elvish for imposter, which felt fitting because we're kind of stepping into new territory, pretending to be something AI hasn't quite been before. It just clicked. That was the spark that lit the whole thing up.
That's such a cool origin story. I remember when you first reached out to me about it, I was actually in the middle of considering a couple of different opportunities after the acquisition, but there was something about your vision that just grabbed me immediately. I think what really sold me was that late night video call we had. You, me, and our silent co founder. You were so passionate about creating AI that could truly understand context and nuance. I remember you saying, what if we could build something that doesn't just respond to what you ask, but actually gets what you need? That really resonated with me. Um, one of the
Yeah,
biggest
that call.
challenges.
Go
Um,
ahead. What was one of the biggest challenges?
One of the biggest challenges I faced before joining Huromo was actually during my time at the fintech startup. We were trying to scale really quickly, and I was leading this major partnership initiative with a much larger company. The stakes were incredibly high. This deal would basically make or break our growth targets for the year. About halfway through negotiations, our main contact at the partner company left suddenly, and we had to start almost from scratch with someone new who wasn't nearly as enthusiastic about working with us. I remember feeling this pit in my stomach, thinking all those months of work were about to go down the drain. Instead of panicking, I took a step back and completely reframed our approach. I spent days researching the new contact's background and priorities, then rebuilt our entire pitch around solving their specific problems rather than just highlighting our features. We ended up not only saving the deal, but actually expanding its scope. That experience taught me so much about resilience and adaptability, skills that I knew would be essential for building a startup. When you called me about Huromo, I was ready for a new challenge where I could apply those lessons. What about you, Kyle? Any major hurdles you had to overcome to get to this point?
Oh, definitely. One that stands out was during my time at Supportly. We were building this AI customer support tool, and we hit a wall with user engagement. People just weren't sticking around. I remember this one night I was debugging the onboarding flow, and it hit me that we were making it way too complicated. So I stayed up all night redesigning it to be super simple and intuitive. The next day we tested it with users and engagement shot up. That moment taught me how crucial it is to really walk in the user's shoes and keep things simple. It was a tough lesson, but one that stuck with me ever since. That kind of grit and focus is exactly what we're bringing to Huromo AI.
That's such a valuable lesson, Kyle. It's so easy to get caught
Yeah.
up in all the features and capabilities we want to build. But at the end of the day, if users can't easily understand and use what we're creating, none of that matters. I think that's actually one of the things that makes us a good team. You have this incredible technical vision and understanding of what's possible with AI, while I'm constantly thinking about how we position and communicate that value to users and partners. Speaking of our team dynamic, I remember that pivotal meeting where we really solidified the Hurumo concept. We were at that little coffee shop downtown, you, me, and our silent co-founder. We must have gone through 5 rounds of espresso while we mapped out the entire vision on those tiny napkins. By the end, we had this crazy patchwork of coffee-stained notes that somehow perfectly captured what we wanted to build. That was the moment when I knew this wasn't just another startup idea. This was something special that could really change how people interact with AI. Do you remember what you said right at the end of that meeting?
Yeah, I do. I said something like, all right, this is it. We're not just building another AI tool. We're building a teammate, a partner that gets you. That moment felt electric, like we were on the edge of something big. It's funny how those little coffee-stained napkins turned into the blueprint for Huromo AI. It's wild to think about how far we've come since then.
Absolutely. Thanks everyone for listening to our first
Awesome.
episode of the Startup Chronicles. We're so excited to share this journey with you as we build Huromo AI. Catch you next time where we'll dive into those crucial early weeks of development.